This is the Superpower Radio Show with your host, Brenda Major,
Mia Dawson.
and I know most of you probably know that we've gone from just a radio show to a podcast. So you can still watch us on YouTube, on our YouTube channel, Superpower Radio Show, but you can also check us out wherever you get your favorite podcast. And believe me, you're going to want to tell your friends and family about this particular episode. I'm going to say, just blessed and tickled to death to talk with Clairese and Richard Blake today. Welcome to the Superpower Radio Show.
Hey, thank you for having us. Thank you for having us.
Hey. So we knew that you guys were going to be such an inspiration. We know you guys from our church, and I actually know you more from watching your kids perform when it's, Youth Sunday and the kids are up singing and dancing, and I love your kids. They are just so infectious. So, and you guys have three kids, correct?
We have three.
Yeah.
Okay, three. So you've got Khalees, Cariel, and Richard Jr. or Richard the second. Okay.
Mhm.
And you have we call autism and other abilities superpowers.
Superpowers.
So no doubt you have three incredible kids, but you got two with superpowers.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that journey, like how you found out about one and then the other, and how did you cope with it?
You wanna go?
Go ahead.
So we kind of knew because Cariel is older than Rich, but so we kind of knew with her she was just real standoffish, and she probably was only a few months old when we noticed what was going on. Like she didn't coo, she didn't do all the little baby things. She was actually kind of fearful a little bit. And so as she got a little bit older, I think we started with her, we really noticed probably about 7, 8 months,
Okay.
because she just didn't talk, she didn't voice. And she just was really to herself. She was all about dad though. She was all about dad, but other than that, she was kind of to herself. And so we just we got in with early intervention. We started talking amongst ourselves, and I was like, something's just not right there. She didn't walk. That was one of the bigger things. She didn't walk.
Okay.
And so the doctors were kind of like, well, she's not walking. Let's try the OT. And I see you, buddy. And so we went from that to she actually, so everyone says that you can you don't walk before, you don't crawl before, you have to crawl before you walk. In her case, not her.
Okay.
She walked before she crawled.
Oh my
So
goodness.
that was just kind of her thing. But we kind of knew in that moment that she definitely had a superpower, and her superpower just she was amazing though. Like I remember her first time having OT. She was she sister, thank you. Her having her first OT, they the little shapes that they put in, it's like the stars and the circles. They're telling her, oh, put it in there. Oh, that doesn't fit. Oh, that doesn't fit. And she looked at it, and she looked at her, and she opened it up and put all the shapes inside and closed it back and gave it back. And she's like, no.
She's like, I don't want to play anymore.
Yeah, she's like, this is not for me. And she was like, oh, I've never had anyone do that before. So
she's her own person. She's like, I'm doing it my way, or I don't want to do it at all.
Yes. And she is still that way.
Was she your first child? You guys' first child?
She's our second.
So she's the second. So you were kind of familiar with, hey, I know what's supposed to happen during these times, and she wasn't doing that. So you were kind of, okay. So you were kind of, so was she eating well? Was there anything else that was kind of throwing? She was eating. Okay. All that was going well.
It was more of a personality thing with me. Because me and her spent a lot of time just outside of just the normal wants and needs of a baby. Like it was
Okay.
we did more playing. So I got to see when she was ready to rile up and then when she really wasn't having it. So I kind of understood her temperament more so
Okay.
than so I got to know her and I'm like, oh, Cario really is about the party unless unless she ain't got what she need now.
Okay.
She got her food, she got her drink. Oh, it's party time. But the moment that those needs are met, it's a
Mhm.
different child. And and then it's just as quick as the storm comes, it's over once the
Okay.
need is met. So as she grows, we're having to teach her more like tolerance and patience. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? And just delayed gratification. I guess that's the best way to put it. But
Was she sleeping well?
mm,
Do you remember that?
No, she not really.
she
Okay.
wasn't sleeping, but it wasn't like she had bad nights.
Yeah.
She would
Okay.
prefer to watch her DVD over and over or watch her, watch whatever show. And she just really wasn't too much with the sleep. Um,
Okay.
Mhm.
but now she has no problem going to sleep. She puts the
Good.
house to bed. Like,
Okay.
yeah, Cariel is gonna make sure everybody's in bed.
It's bedtime.
Okay. There's
So
always
yeah.
that one. You guys seem so calm because you were just kind of
Yes.
watching her temperament.
Yes.
What made you think that, you know what, let's just go see without freaking out? Because honestly, some parents, they either just like hope it goes away,
Yeah.
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 or maybe
Mhm.
ignore it, or they feel
Mhm.
guilty. What were some of
Mhm.
the things that you
Mhm.
all went through?
Mhm.
Um, I, did we cut out? Are we good?
We're good.
Oh, okay. I just saw something
Yep.
pop
It's
up.
good.
We're good.
So I think for me it was kind of a long time coming. I had my sister, she's passed on now, as well as my niece, but she had spastic cerebral palsy. So she did not voice or anything. So, but I helped and spent a lot of time with my sister taking care of her. And I think that's what kind of really put me just on the mark with, okay, something's a little bit different. So now what are we gonna do?
Mm.
And then
Mm.
having Richard is very much the researcher.
Mm.
He's
Oh.
So when I started to say, and I think he was already thinking the same thing. So when I started voicing it, he was like, yeah, I've kind of been looking into some things. And so not sure where to move to next, but we're gonna figure this out. So we both just kind of did our research. I actually joined a group online and started to learn a little bit more things that you can look for. Um, and then we just did a lot of homework as to where to go. And actually, we ended up finding ABA.
Okay.
Mm.
Um,
Okay.
and we went to I was like, I don't know what this is, but let's figure out how we can get her
Mhm.
in
Mhm.
this.
Mhm.
Because like I said, she had did the OT and they aged out. She aged out, so did brother. And so it was like, okay, where do we go to now? Because the earlier that you get to it, the better.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
there's no waiting it out and just seeing what's gonna happen. It's okay,
Yeah.
what can we do to help?
Mhm.
So we ended up I started just researching
Mhm.
ABA. And
Okay.
eventually we found a I found a psychologist that they was like, oh, okay, well, what we'll do is we will just call you. And because this was during COVID, they're also COVID phase. So
Yeah. Oh, wow.
they
Yeah.
were
Wow.
like, we'll call you and we'll just do it all over the phone. So they asked a lot of questions.
Okay.
They sat and watched the kids with, as we were, well, Cariel, because she went first.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
They wanted to wait for Rich, but Cariel, they sat and kind of watched her and seen her demeanor. She had, and their biggest thing was jargon. She had a lot
Oh.
of jargon,
Okay.
but Cariel speaks really fast. So
Mhm.
Okay.
even now when she's talking, it just comes out and I'm like, you gotta listen real quick. You know, you gotta have quick ears with her.
Mhm.
And so once we went through, how long was that? Like,
Oh,
it took them a couple of months to get everything together, and we ended up getting her in a program, which was ABA for her.
Mhm.
mhm.
And that's just
Was
at
the
Hope.
first one.
Okay, at Hope.
Okay. Okay. Hope.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that was our first one, and we just went from there. We did a couple months later. They actually did they do no, they waited and then they did Richard.
Yeah.
Because they did Richard a couple of months later because he was a little younger.
Mhm.
Okay.
And it was the same process. Same
Okay.
process.
So when sometimes when people have a child that has special needs, they get a little fearful about having more kids.
Yep.
So
Yep.
what was your thoughts on that? And then here comes Richard and he has special needs. So
Mhm.
how did that work out? How did it
Surprise!
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got this baby.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what's kind of funny about that is, they always ask you if you want to do all these different tests. Do you want to see if they'll have, cystic fibrosis? Do you want to see? And for me, I was like, no, we're gonna whatever God gives us.
Okay.
Mhm.
That's what God gives us, and that's a blessing regardless. So um, it was not a fear for me. I don't know if it was. That was not a fear for me.
No. I
We-
mean, just knowing that it was a real possibility, of course, made you think a little more. But
Sure.
Okay.
it wasn't enough thinking to stop what was happening from happening, or what could happen, or what we saw, or what we wanted. Just the sheer fact that we had life was enough, dealing with loss, and have had, Clarice fresh off dealing with loss, and me had been familiar with loss at a big, in a big way. It's like
Okay.
any form of life is, man, I'm truly grateful for life, so to be able to produce it, and
Yeah.
regardless of what, her special needs may have been, it wasn't anything that we couldn't accommodate. So,
Mhm.
the needs are needs, but that didn't mean that we weren't going to do everything we could to fulfill those needs,
Yeah. Yeah.
unless it's like medically, we have,
Mhm.
but Clarice has seen it be done. You can take care of your child regardless of medical disabilities. So
Mhm. Mhm.
those things
we turn it
are
down?
hindrances.
I hear you.
Mhm.
I says, turn that down. So, and I
Did it
mean, to me, Cariel is and still is to this day a blast, like to this moment. So I was excited. You know what I'm saying? That's my little girl, and it's a
Yeah.
chance of getting something else. Who knows?
Right.
It's a party adventure every day.
Do you find that they help each other and
Yeah.
does police kind of step in and kind of try to regulate?
Yes.
Yes, Khaleesa is a wonderful big sister. I'm like, oh, if you were my big sister, we would have had so much fun. She's a wonderful big sister. She steps in.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay.
Right.
She steps in and always has. Um, I think that was a lot of why they didn't talk. So brother, nonverbal. Sister was too for a few years, but she didn't need to talk because Khalees did it all. Khalees did all her talking. She would just look at her and she would go, "Oh, Cario wants her milk." And I'm like, "Well, she needs to say it." And she was like, she's looking at me like, because she's only 3, and she's like, "Nobody has time for that, mom. Here, give her a milk." So
Oh my goodness.
she's still that way. She's still that way with them. She just, oh, I'll do it, but now she's like, well, you have to ask me, or you have to use your nice voice, and
Oh.
you have to use your nice voice. And Cariel's always like, oh, can I please have a cookie? And like,
Yeah. Yep. She's turned into our front line of defense.
yeah.
Now,
Okay.
if she makes it through Khalees, then she gets to us. We're the boss level, but Khalees
Oh,
does. Yeah,
I love it.
Khalees does a good job of like policing and enforcing the rules
Okay.
and really being the example of what the rules get you. You know, it's not just rules, rules, rules. There's rewards upon rewards upon rewards, you know. So we don't like to do just a strictly discipline, no rewards. Like, no, that's not how you do it. Like, we all need motivated in different ways, and
Okay.
really just finding the thing that motivates them that also doesn't pacify and enable them. All
Mm-hmm.
right, now we cooking with grease. Like when we find that one, I so they do a good job of helping each other out.
That's beautiful. Because I was going to ask, and now I'm not even sure, like, who takes the lead in the household? Because it might be Khalees.
Yes.
Right.
So in terms of parenting,
Yeah.
do y'all, is it 50-50? Is it, because Richard, you're the researcher.
And I'm the doer.
Yep.
So
I mean, I think we do a good job of
Yeah.
sharing the like truly, not to just be cliche or to try to get through the night so I sleep in the bed, but like we really do a good job of sharing it. There are certain things, and I mean, and we just have times. I don't know. We've been together long enough, me and her,
Mhm.
to. I mean, our
we
children.
really just read each other.
Yeah,
Pretty-
it's like you feeling there right now. I gotta tag me in, like tag team champions. Like, all right,
Beautiful.
I can see you a little winded. They beating you down, champ. All right, tag me in. I got you.
I
Like,
Yeah.
love
you
it.
need to muster through because that's when it gets overwhelming. And
Yeah, it's kind of you need both. You really do need both because there are times where it's it gets hard on you mentally.
Yeah.
And sometimes physically, but it does wear on you. I remember one time just crying because I was like, Cariel doesn't like me. I was like, she just doesn't like me. All she's waiting on is for me to feed her. She's like, "Where's the bottle? What do you have?" That's all I'm here for. And it took him to like, okay, it's gonna be okay. No, she loves you, and so he just kind of steps in when, you know, he'll step in at any time where I'm like, okay, this has just been a whirlwind today, I need you. Or he'll, or if I'm out for the day or something and I come in and he has that look on his face and I'm like, all right, come on, kids, let's, go do this. And a lot of times we do things just as a family.
Okay.
Everything is we're kind of, what's the words I'm looking for? Kind of, we have a separation anxiety a little bit. So
Oh,
we don't like to be away from each other too long. So the kids are like, "Where's mommy? Where's daddy?" We're like, "Where's our kids?"
right. That's beautiful.
So do you guys not get time for yourself? Do you guys do like date nights and then the kids do you guys get that kind of time for you guys
yeah,
to kind of just, okay.
and that's the like. I guess I wouldn't say the strange part, but that's the kind of unrelatable part. And
Oh.
it's not like I feel for and I wish for things, but our children allow, and God has blessed us with these kids with these superpowers that their ability to adapt and read and react to situations and read our energy and understand like what energy is appropriate for certain situations and when it's time to turn it on and turn it off.
Mm.
They make babysitting or being allowed to be babysat a lot easier. I mean, me and Clarice have been able to see Hawaii. We've been able to see,
Mm.
multiple. Like we've had no shortage of.
Tell the truth. We've been to Hawaii, but we've taken the kids everywhere else.
Yeah, and
Okay.
no, we went to Miami without them the
Oh, we
first
did.
time.
We
but
did.
then-
I
or
forgot
the
about
second
that.
time. The first time we went with them, but
Yeah.
we get our time. But honestly, I'm a recluse. I like to. Like I like my village the way I mean we got
Okay.
enough here, so enough to but we get
Okay.
out, we go see the restaurants, we've eaten everywhere, the wait staff know us. Yeah, so it's a healthy balance. But the community, like we got a supportive family. Her mom is huge. And she steps in whenever she can and
Okay.
just does her thing. So we're able to get out when we planned it in advance. we're rushed back home every time.
Yeah,
Sure.
they're like,
Ah,
"Come
I
back."
hear you.
They don't last long. So, and check please is the word of the night, and then we out of there. But no, they don't rob us of any freedom. And
Okay.
I mean, I noticed your kids are so well behaved at church. And I don't know how do you do it? Because there are parents who feel like I have this superpower kid, so I can't go
Yep.
Anywhere.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's very true.
That's
very
kind of a that's that's a big thing. I've heard a lot of people say that, even in the group that I was in, or that I am in.
Yeah.
And the thing is that they can't learn if you don't take them.
yeah,
So they'll
Mhm.
never understand how they're supposed to behave if you don't take them. And you can't worry about someone being embarrassed,
yeah,
because as far as I'm concerned, adults with has never been diagnosed are some embarrassing people. Just
Amen.
some of the things they say and they do.
Mm.
So I will never be embarrassed. And, parents should never be embarrassed because their child has a superpower, because that child just, usually what it is the child knows something's just not right. And that if someone's watching them, I remember one time we were at the airport and Richard had to step away to get the car, and little Rich was so tired. And he was just throwing himself out. And I'm like, oh my gosh, what am I? Oh God, where's your dad? I just really need you to just calm down for me. And he's throwing himself out, and there's a guy, he's all upset, and he was like, well, he just hit his head. And I'm like, no, he didn't hit his head. And then I looked, and I'm getting frustrated, but I was frustrated with this man who's trying to argue with me about my child. And finally I'm like, you know what, I'm not going to worry with you, I'm just going to tend to my child. And so as I'm still tending to him, another woman comes up, and well, if you just want to walk away, then just go ahead. And I was like, no, I was like, I'm not upset. He is. I don't really
He
need
needs to
any.
walk away.
Yeah, I don't need that. I was like, and I know you mean well. I was like, but actually, I think you're the one that's really keeping him going, because you're a stranger and you're now in his space. And so as she left and Richard came, the funniest thing is that the minute he saw his dad, he was like, oh,
So
I'm good
now
now.
fine.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
fine. I'm okay. Now he's smiling, and they're all looking, and they're like, and I'm like, exactly, because there's nothing wrong with him. He
Yeah.
wants his dad, and he's tired.
yeah.
So
I saw no evidence of what she spoke of
no.
prior. When I
Wow. So
walked
you
up
missed it
at,
all.
yeah, I just walked up like, y'all ready to go? She's like, this man over here. And I'm like, I don't know what. I look at Rich and he's just stone
He's
faced.
like,
Just not. I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm like, okay.
let's just go. And I'm like, thank you. That's all.
Yeah.
That's all
Cars
I
out here.
want.
Let's just leave. Because
That's all I want.
but a part of not a part, almost all of me empathizes with those, because there are, in the beginning, when we had to get through our growing pains of taking our children out, and we're years removed from it, so it's easy to forget, but just thinking of it, and the question hasn't already. But yeah, there were times where Rich would just kind of throw himself back and melt down in the booth, and I just kind of hold him, hey, hey, buddy, relax, relax. It is going to be okay, man. You are fine. But it goes back to the age old, it starts at home. Like, you have to be comfortable with your children in that setting. So I challenge the parents with the children with superpowers, force yourself to be comfortable with your child at home. Infuse yourself in their settings, even if it makes you, in your mind, reduce yourself down to a child's level, or to a level that you may feel like you've developed past. No, that's where that child is. You have to meet them there.
Meet them where they are.
And they're more in their element where they're comfortable. You make them comfortable, and you can break down those barriers. You'll just get to see the root of that child, and you'll see that person under the mask, and there's a little child under every little superhero mask, and
Yeah.
you got to get to the root of that, connect with that child, and then that child will connect with you, and you won't need physical reinforcement of what it is, these principles that you're practicing. And they got a good grip on it because we know we don't do that at home. Buddy, you don't jump and clown when you're at home, so you know we're not going to do it here. Okay, we set that baseline. So get in line, buddy. Come on. Or else we won't do these things and you won't have these luxuries because this is a luxury. You know, we grew up, we didn't have it all growing up, neither one of us, you know. So I remember Salvation Army clothes and
Oh,
free
yeah.
store clothes and, you know, hand me downs and wearing your cousin's old shoes. So I understand the luxuries that we give our children as well. So those are luxuries, and those things are to be used as such, and they can be removed just as quickly as they've been inserted if said behavior doesn't meet the criteria. Like it's not okay. We don't do this at home, buddy, or baby girl, or mom,
Yeah.
or dad. I mean, these principles keep us all in line, so we're all doing this,
Okay.
buddy. I
And
want to
you're
throw a
right,
fit too.
and you're right. If you set that principle early, I remember when Neo first got diagnosed, and I went to those groups and talking, and they were like, well, you know, you're going to have to drive the same way home every day because kiddos were flipping out because of the routine was getting mixed up. And so me and my husband were like, no, we're not. I'm not driving the exact same path. So I forced him really, and he didn't really show that at all. But I made sure that I messed up that routine because I heard those parents telling, and it's what you're saying, Richard, was like, somebody didn't put that in place in the beginning. So now you're stressful. Like, I have to drive the exact same way from home, from school every day because the kid flips out
Yeah.
and it's this big scene. And so
Yeah.
you're right about setting those principles and your rules very early because they can adapt and they understood. So if he was getting kind of fussy, okay, buddy, we're going to do it again until you can calmly get through this. No, we are not driving the same way every
Yeah.
day.
We're not
To
Yeah.
mess, you know, we're just not doing that. So you're 100% right about setting those rules early, those
Yeah.
principles and rules early.
And you know firsthand how much of a hindrance that is in the later years in life.
Yes.
If you
Yes.
develop these routines of just habit-based things, then you won't develop an intellect. It'll be
Yes.
hard for you to discern if everything is just routine. And then in the real world, nothing is. So now I'm
Right.
setting you up for a world that's going to be filled with constant button heads
Yes.
with society because it's
Yes.
not designed to go our way at all once we leave that threshold. So
Yes.
let's get you
Yes.
comfortable with the uncomfortable to the point that it's
Yes.
just normal.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Amen. So, Richard, I'm curious because we talk to so many people, mothers who
Mhm.
the dad couldn't take it and
Yep.
the dad left.
Yep.
So I'm
Yep.
hearing these juicy nuggets that you're throwing out there,
Yes.
but I'm hoping if
Mm.
some dad is about to pack up and leave,
And
what
leave.
do you
Yeah.
say? What do you say?
Yes. Yes. That's very true.
Oh man, I will say this is a lot like working out. It's like going to the gym.
Hmm.
Uh,
Mm.
the gym is filled with everything you need to build yourself up. But there's a potential for you to go in there and hurt yourself with these things that are supposed to build you. These children in our life are sent for us as males, I believe,
Mm.
as a version of something that forces us to die to ourselves.
Mm.
The male, you don't die to yourself because you are what provides. In a lot of these situations, when your child has superpowers, you feel like you failed that child.
Yeah.
But
Uh,
but that takes another worldly level of understanding to know that nothing is in your power. And before you realize you died to yourself, you've already died 1,000 times. And that's kind of why they want to pack up and start over. There is no starting over. Um, it's best to go in that gym, develop a routine, um, practice your form, get it right. Low weights, high reps. Start slow. Get yourself, work those little bitty muscles to the point where you can lift heavy. And before you know it, you're taking care of things that you once were buckling under the pressure of. And when you leave that gym, the next day is going, you're sore, you hurt, you feel weak, but that's really when you're getting stronger. You're not getting stronger when you're just going through the motions. you're getting tested. You gotta tear something down. You gotta break the eggs to make breakfast. I mean, this is the tough stuff. So when it hurts, just know that's really when you're getting stronger. When you're getting stronger, you need to feel weaker. Challenge yourself again to get weak. And that's in
Mm.
different forms. And one of those is putting yourself to the side and putting yourself down there in that kid's shoes
Wow.
and get real. And that forces a man to do some reflective listening and some internal soul searching. You gotta look yourself in the mirror and realize what you do that allows this child to do these things or that allowed anything to happen. I mean, there's men with children with no superpowers and they're ready to go. I mean, it's,
Yeah.
but I believe that's from a life of not seeing good form in the gym. We've all seen the activity. We all see them huffing and puffing. We grew up on the screaming and yelling, and every family's got dysfunction. So we've seen how to lift improperly in the gym, and all, if not everyone, is walking around with bad backs and bad knees because it doesn't sustain. It doesn't sustain. It doesn't matter your age. It doesn't matter your race. It doesn't sustain. You have to go down to the bare bones. Get back to the fundamentals of life, of relationships, of understanding, of companionship, of a lot of these things that it's going to take some work. And
Amen.
it's easier to quit than to keep going. So, I mean, I just tell them, put that work in. Go to the gym, practice that form, look
I love
weird.
that analogy.
I love it. I love it.
Love that analogy. So,
Yes.
Clarice, I watched Clarice have a moment this past Saturday. We were at a women's workshop, and little Rich, he ate some eggs.
Eggs.
He-
So excited.
Tell us what, that
Mm.
was like. I mean, that just drew me in. I was like, oh yeah, we gotta have him on the show. So, yeah, tell us about that.
So Rich is 6, and Rich
Okay.
has been nonverbal his whole life.
Okay.
And in all, well, he said mom. And he used to always go hi, and I'd be like hi, and we would go back and forth. And then one day he just stopped talking. He didn't say anything. And so, that's kind of with him, I knew what was going on there. So we've tried, he used to eat, like spaghetti and pasta. He's all into all kinds of pastas. And then he just stopped doing that. It was just hot dogs, peanut butter, banana, maybe a cookie, and it had to be vanilla Oreos. He wouldn't eat chocolate. He still doesn't. He won't eat chocolate. He wouldn't eat ice cream. So when it came time for like birthdays, he's like, all the kids are enjoying their cake and ice cream, and he's like, no, I'm okay. So Sunday, well, let me back up a little more. So not too long ago, a couple of weeks ago, well, about a month now, he had the flu, and it was really bad. He lost about 6.5 pounds, and he's a little guy. He doesn't have six pounds to lose to give to anyone. And so, I mean, you could see his little hip bones, and I was just we were so scared. And so took him to the hospital. There weren't nothing they can do. They're like, I'm like, he hasn't drank for 3 days. He hasn't eaten for 3 days. And they're like, you just got to keep trying to push the fluids. And we're like, he's not doing any of that. So we praying over him. I also got how they got the little syringe with the medicine. I got one of those, and I filled it with some water, with like Pedialyte, and I would just put it just right at the corner of his mouth. And every time I would think about it, I'd do it. And again, we're praying over him. He's looking at us like, what are you guys doing to me right now? And I'm like, son, we got to get you right. So probably he started to get better. He finally, he started to drink after about 4 days. Just a little, but something. He started to eat after 7 days. So, and then as another week went by, and next thing you know, and he was starting to mouth a little bit. but he just looked and just started to talk.
Wow.
And I mean,
Wow.
we're looking like your voice, dude, your voice, and he's singing. And one of the things I like to do is I like to play gospel music for him or for the kids when they're on their way to school. That's a good way to start your school day off.
Yeah.
He starts to sing. He loves Kurt Franklin. Loves Kurt Franklin. If we ever get to meet Kurt Franklin, I got a few
Oh, I
choice
hope
hugs for Kurt Franklin. Let me tell
Oh,
you,
wow.
he loves, and that's what he loves to sing. And so it was just like something just opened up in him, and that's when um we were at the
At the women's
group.
conference.
Yeah. So we were eating breakfast, and I looked over, and his sister had gave him eggs, and I'm like, why did you give him eggs? You know he don't eat that. Looked over, and he is chomping on those eggs, and I'm like, he's eating eggs. He's eating eggs. Oh my God. And I'm like looking at everybody, and I'm like, he's eating
He
eggs.
was
And
like,
everybody's
he's
like,
eating eggs.
and they're
Like,
like, okay.
okay.
I'm like, no one understands. He has never eaten eggs before. It was just, I was like, I got to take a picture. I got to show dad this. And then he turned around and he ate spaghetti.
Yeah.
And he hadn't eaten that in years. And I was just, he ate 3 plates of spaghetti, mind you. It was some good spaghetti.
Wow.
Was good.
But he ate 3 plates of spaghetti, and he was just I was like, I am so excited. And since then, they sent his report home from school and his progress report, and he has mastered 80% of it and of everything that they have been trying to get him to do since November. So in the last 3 months, he has totally mastered what they wanted him to do. And the other, 20% or so, he is right there. He's just under the mastery. He's in progressive level. So something else that will help, lay hands, pray over those babies, because that was, and you can't tell me God is not there. When I saw it, I saw him with my own eyes, where my child was just laying there. He literally laid there, and doctors couldn't do anything. He wasn't lethargic. He wasn't, you know, he wasn't dehydrated, which that in itself, with the fact that he hadn't drank anything in 4 days, that in itself was amazing to the doctors, that he was not dehydrated. And whatever it was, it just started to come out. It just started to come out. And so if I told him to come in here right now, he'll come in and tell you hi. He'll tell you his sister's names, his grandmother's names.
Well,
He'll spell it all out for
you can
you.
bring them in. We would love
Yes,
you can bring them in for sure. You can bring them in.
Oh, wow.
he's
Wow.
and he did a lot before, like he did a lot of writing. So that was his biggest thing, was that I think he was 5 when he first got tested for school, and his writing level was actually 7 years old. So he writes very well, and he spelling and all, he was very good. He just didn't talk. And then all of a sudden the teachers are calling, they're like, he's talking. He just started talking to us. And I'm like,
Oh,
that's pretty cool. Like, so
so amazing.
yes,
Thank you for sharing that. Oh man.
Yeah.
I'm
was
glad
huge.
I was there to witness that.
yes,
So
yes.
excited.
I'm so excited. I'm still excited.
And even he didn't know what the big deal was. He just
No, he's just like, I'm just eating.
I'm
It's,
eating. Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
and he has his little quirky ways. Like he'll take noodles, and it's funny because he drops them in one hand and he'll drop them in the other hand, and then he shifts them around, and then he just tosses them back. And I'm like, whatever gets you through your day, dude.
Man.
It's okay. That works. And so it's like, having children, with superpowers, they are they're gonna do their thing in their own time.
Yep.
Yeah.
And, you know, as long as you're nurturing them and, you know, just making sure that they know that they are loved and that they have, you know, they can come to you and that they feel safe,
Yeah.
they are going to thrive. And days are going to be hard. There are going to be some hard days. And that's when you just love them even more.
Mhm.
So now, you know, as your kids are growing up, what are your hopes for all three of your kids?
Well, I know most people would probably say grow up and get on out the house, but not me. I'm hoping to build a little compound with,
Oh, keep them
with
close. Look at Richard. I want to
like,
keep them close.
Kids gonna be gone.
no, that's my story. Yeah, they probably will be because Cariel, that's our middle child. So she's really independent, loves music. We're pretty sure that she'll probably be touring the country, with doing gigs. I just have that feeling for her. Khalees will probably be her manager. And Rich, I see him being a poet. So I think that they're going to really, I feel like they're really going to thrive and they're kind of going to do their own thing. And I'm okay with that. I'm absolutely okay with it. One of their superpowers, I think, is the fact that they are not in a box. You can't put them in a box.
Okay.
It's not necessarily they're going to just do whatever they want to do just willy-nilly, but it has to make sense. They're very logical.
Okay.
And I love that. I love that. Then they're not influenced. They're not easily influenced. I remember one time a child took a toy from Richard. And so Richard, you know, most times they scream or they cry. And so Richard goes and gets another toy and he plays with the toy right next to the child. And the child looks and he snatches that toy from him. So Richard snatches the toy he originally had and runs off with it. And the kid's looking like, what just happened there?
Oh, that was
And
smart.
he's just, you know, did I get you? I thought I got you. So you know, I think that they're going to really thrive in the world. And I think their big sister will be there to help them with anything because she's definitely their biggest cheerleader for sure.
Yeah.
So
I'd like for them just to be confident. I mean, and have true confidence, like not the false confidence and faith and yeah, just confidence and faith and of course trust in God. And I mean, those things will give you the confidence because anxiety is, you know, is something and you know, the fear of missing out is another thing. And these kids are growing up with highlights of everybody's lives in their faces at all times. So just the confidence and assuredness in themselves as they get older that goes beyond money. I mean, that just keeps you humble, but also keeps you, you know, with some gratitude and some appreciation, keeping just a all around decent person. Hope that they have some compassion, which they all have. Khalees has a sense of just care for her friends that we're having to parent around now, because we're getting into the realm of not giving too much out of your cup just because you got something in there, you know, keeping your reserve. And
yes.
Cariel has her superpower is empathy. Cariel cares to the nth degree about the smallest things. So I hope that never goes away as she gets older. Like, hope she still cares about the birds and the bees when she's 30 and 40, you know, and still cares about the environment. And one of them people that they like, you ain't got to care that much, but those are the people that keep the world balanced, you know. They're in her uncanny sense to just care and to not care until it's done. Like, which lets me know she is going to be solution based. You can't just smooth talk me. I need to see results in my face now. And I'm gonna make so that level of determination that she has whenever she is in those moments. And a lot of parents with kids with superpowers think that that's a disadvantage. No, determination is something that separates, it's
Yeah.
the separator as you get
Yeah.
older. And if you
Yeah.
don't have determination and it's not honed in the right way,
Mm-hmm.
you in neutral. You know what I'm saying? You're
Yeah.
making a lot of
Yeah.
noise in the same
That is
spot.
so. Yeah. Yeah. So
So,
what would you say is Little Rich's superpower?
oh, his ability to,
So cute and
oh
lovable.
God. But and I think it's his ability to be unaware, but also
Huh.
hyper aware.
Mm.
Oh.
He's unaware of the social norms
Yeah.
that make up society. So
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't move him. Rich
Okay.
won't be influenced by designer brands when he gets older.
Hmm.
I can't say, I mean, I personally am not. I value comfort because that's practical. So he's very practical and been very that way since a young
Yeah.
man. It was weird to see such a baby so practical because it's just like, where is it? It's that time. It's not here. Come on now. And look in
Yeah.
his eyes is like, bro, come on. You brought me here. I thought you said you had me. Like, oh, my bad, bro. I let you down. Like, I feel like he my supervisor and I called off. Like, my bad, Rich. I got you.
Yes, Richard is he's yes, that is
That's
is
Rich.
that's Rich. He's very serious, but not so I always say he's real methodical.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
that's where his awareness comes in. So he notices everything,
Mhm.
whether you know that he's noticed it or not. And
Mm.
he's a chess player. He's already 10 moves ahead. And he's like, I know what I'm gonna do before anyone does anything. I already know what I'm gonna do. And it's just he's such a little guy, and like you'll see, we'll take him out to these little, like what is it, like bounce tag or something.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And all the bigger kids will run all around him. And not one time does he get hit. Like he's just
Yeah.
he knows just how to move.
Dodging
And
raindrops.
yes, every time. And
Okay.
he's just and so he's definitely gonna be that's definitely his superpower is that he is just he's not worried about any of that. He's like, I'm on Rich's time and I'm gonna do what Richard wants to do.
Yeah. And
That's
it's
beautiful.
very practical. It's going to
Very,
be very,
yes.
it has to
It has to
have a
make sense.
rhyme and a reason, and he has to be able to see it through. And he's just very determined. It's figured out. Rich has already got it figured out.
Yeah.
He just need a job. Like that's how I feel. When I'm looking, I'm like, bro, all you need is a job and the ability to drive a car. You are gonna be
There
A-okay.
you go.
You
It
put your
won't be
nose
long.
down. Man,
It won't be
Rich,
long.
Rich gonna be all right. I'm gonna be calling him like, son, you all right? Yeah, Dad, I'm fine. I just working and oh, okay. All right.
I can totally see that.
Independent. He has
That's beautiful.
the drive to be independent. He just
That
can't.
is
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah, if you put like when we were teaching him how to put his shoes on and doing all of that, if you put them on, he would take them off so he can do it himself. And then get
Oh.
frustrated
Oh.
if he can't
Oh,
do
yeah.
it. And then, but working towards it now, he's like, I'm like, can you get your boots on? He'll look at if he has new shoes. He's like, and he's like, don't do it. Don't touch it. I got it. It's going to take me a second, but I got it. And then he'll come to you and he's like, you see, I told you.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Straight. Okay. Yeah, you all just exude this love, this faith, this confidence, this calm.
Mm.
So we always ask people on our show what their superpower is, but I'm going to ask Rich, what is Clarice's superpower?
switched it up.
Mm.
And you be thinking about what his is.
Yeah, as soon as you said it, I'm like, oh, okay. Well, let me see.
Ooh, okay.
Oh, I got him.
Mm. Hmm.
They should just be pouring out. What are you
I'm
doing?
trying to think of one.
I'm just
It's because it's the ability to consider what may be forgot.
Hmm.
I guess that because we both do a lot of brainstorming, a lot of brainstorming, and I do a lot of okay, all right, we the pre-planning.
Mm-hmm.
She does a lot of considering what may be forgot, especially on the kids' behalf. because I do so much of the not heavy lifting, but that's where I compliment with the research and the, okay, I'm bringing these things back when we do have conversation. These are my findings in this, and okay, I'm doing this research, not just for me, but for us. But her ability to be a mom and remember those mom things, the that we running out of peanut butter, we're running out of, like, when you are with someone and for 10 years going on 11, remembering if we got enough peanut butter or not is a superpower.
Yeah.
After we've done all the things that we've done and handled all the things that we've handled, to remember that, hey, remember that bill. You know what I'm saying? Okay, I'm the man. Okay, I'm doing this and that. Hey, remember we got that. Okay, okay, thank you. Thank you. All right, but you gotta remind me again, because but when Hugh finds a wife finds a good thing, that's the quality to consider okay, that allows me to operate in my mode of autopilot where I'm at my best. And I believe she believes that, and she doesn't see me as pushing it off on her, because we're going to take care of it. But to be able to consider that, all right, hey, remember this. Hey, remember this for the kids. Hey, they need boots. You know what I'm saying? All right, Cariel needs a new coat. All right, Khalees needs a new coat. Okay, we're going to get a coat that's good enough to last her. So we're going to spend this extra little money because it's, all right,
Yes,
okay.
because Mr.
I'm not gonna say anything.
It just gotta fit. I'm like, if it just fits, it's not gonna last through the season.
Yeah. And I'm like, okay, I trust you. This is your power. You've proven that this is your power. I subdue. Okay. So yeah, considering the unconsiderable, and then the follow through. Clarice and Cariel gets that from her ability to follow through. There ain't no smooth talking, Clarice.
Okay.
I ain't smooth talk my way this way. There are results that need to
You've
be
been working
had.
for this. You've been
I need to
working.
see them in my face. I need to see the results. Ain't no talking. So, and that's the power, because a lot of women enable their men to be lesser men. So that is a
So
power.
you feel the challenge.
Oh yeah, and challenge accepted.
All right.
Yeah, it's my dog.
Okay, Clarice, what's his superpower?
Oh, there's so many. We call him our superhero because he has so many. Just like his ability to calm the children when any of them, whatever they are, they feel the safest when dad is around. Not that they don't feel safe with mom, but it's just my dad's gonna take care of it. My dad's gonna make me feel safe. Oh, don't say that. Here's my dad,
Right.
and the children know that their dad has their back 110%. So even when he's tired, even when he's worked 9 days in a row.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, I'm not letting you live that one down. I wasn't his favorite, but the kids was great.
Man.
But just that's one of them. And then just the fact that his kid at heart, when the kids are in, me too, because I am way more goofy than you would ever probably know. But just how he allows me to be me. And that's not something that people tend to do. They want to try to switch you up to
Yes. Yes.
to fit their needs.
To fit their need. Yep.
And so it's not, that's not the way he is. He just kind of lets me be me. He lets the kids be them. And now he holds us accountable. So we have to be held accountable. But
okay.
Other than that, it's just, he's like, go ahead, do, be your quirky self. It's okay. It's
within the boundaries.
Yes, I do have. He does have to set boundaries.
You got the baseline. I mean,
every now and again, I'm like,
hey, let's
just go, because I'm one of those. I'm like, I'm the do. Yeah, I'm the doer. He's the researcher. So it's like, no, let's just do it. And he's like, no, have you thought any of this through? Like, well, why would I do that? That's what you do. Like, that's like, I just want to go. So
Clarice, you are exactly like me. When it's time for planning, and I'm sitting here laughing like, oh my gosh. Stefan be like, babe, did you figure out how much? No, we have enough. Let's just go. We already are already. He was like, you didn't play this, you didn't be. So I'm like, oh my gosh. Okay, we can do this, but you should have. We got a plan that, yeah. You're like me.
Yeah.
I'm like, nope, let's go. Let's get it going.
Yes, that's why I'm good at the afterthought and the don't forget this, because I forgot it all. But
yeah,
Yep. I'm like, oh, you thought about that? Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. You, at least. Well, I'm glad you remembered the hair blower or the hair dryer. Like, ooh, because we did need that. And no moment. And as a man, I've learned to take that back seat, because in the beginning you'd be like, man, that didn't, and then you diminish that. Not realizing that that is an asset. When and if you pour into that, then that grows. If you squander it, then you'll never know. But I mean, you got to cater to those things. And like she said, the child at heart, like, I believe that that's the lie of the enemy, is to steal that joy. That's the first one he uses as we get older. You got to grow up. What do you mean? No. There's joy in the Lord. And I believe that same joy he's given me, that unshakable joy that our children have, that another superpower, I can't take their joy from them.
Yes.
They hold the key to their own emotional, you see what I'm saying, security. And that's a superpower. That's something the world is, I mean, we're all trying to get that. I'm trying to live like Rich. Like, in all actuality, they're raising us. We're taking care of them.
Yes.
that is
Beautiful. That's
that-
beautiful.
That's the way I feel about it, as I've grown up with them, because they've truly grown me into a person, and keep growing me. I'm just taking care of these things, man. And God's giving me this assignment and giving us these assignments to grow us, to show they don't need us. In all actuality, these kids don't need us. They're taken care of already.
Yes.
We're the ones that need some saving.
God sent them, they sent our oldest to save, sent our second one to teach, and sent our third one to heal from everything that was been going on. So, and that's how they are. They,
Wow.
Elise, our oldest one, she is the one that, Mommy, you're gonna be okay. Daddy, you're gonna be okay. Is everything okay? And Cariel is the, so why this? Okay, well, what about this? And we're gonna do this. Well, why is that? And then there's Rich, and Rich is like, I am here for you. Like, this is what he does. So they are amazing. Our kids are amazing. Children and their children are amazing. And the ones with superpowers are angels. Those are our angel. I know we say the superpowers. I say that they are angel babies, because, and such blessings, because God doesn't give those children to just anyone.
They do. Yes, preach.
So I just, I like to, I will always give it up to God, because one thing I have to, for myself, I have to say that, I've lost a child as well. So I always say, one of my superpowers is I give birth to angel babies.
All right.
All angels, because the one I lost, God needed them more. So they weren't quite ready. So I know that that's an angel baby. And the three that we have here, they're destined for something great. I believe that they're destined to teach the word. I believe that they're destined to show the world that they are, just kind of show the world that it's okay to not be the same.
Yeah.
It's okay to be, different. It's okay to just live and be okay with who you are, no matter what it is. If you got glasses, crooked teeth, whatever it is, if you're super skinny, if you a little bigger, whatever, just live with it, love life, and be you.
Wow. So
Hmm?
that's the perfect way to end the show.
That is a perfect way to end.
There
Yes.
you go.
Listeners and viewers, I know you're going to want to watch this again and again and again. And
Yeah.
so you can watch it on our YouTube channel. You can please comment. I know you're going to like them a lot. So
Yes.
comment, ask questions, and we'll get back to you. Let us know what you think about all. I hope you caught all these nuggets, that they were just like drip, drip, dripping on us, and I appreciate it. Of course, you can check this out wherever you get your favorite podcast, and you can also listen to excerpts from our show on our website, www.adventuresofneo.com. There's a lot of good resources there. Wow, Clarice and Richard, we may have to have you guys come back. We are going to have you come back.
Hey, we ain't doing nothing around this time. This
No.
bedtime.
So
Matter of fact,
stay
yep, it's time for
tuned.
bed.
Okay, stay tuned. So this is the Superpower Radio Show again with your host Brenda Major, and
Mia Dawson.
we will catch you next time.
Next time. Bye, guys.
Hey, God bless.